Chapter 17, Shocking the Entire Audience, Part 2. Boom! A deafening sound erupted as an overwhelming aura burst forth from Long Zhongguo's body. Staring intently at Xiao Lingfeng, he said, Zhou Fei from the hidden sects of the southeastern region of the Daxia Kingdom has not been involved in the Zhou family's matters. In fact, he has been fighting for us all these years. Lord Xiao, master of the Temple of the God of War, if I personally plead for him, would you let him go? As Long Zhongguo spoke, everyone in Qianjiang city held their breath, not daring to move. This was a confrontation between two titans, a real clash of the top figures. A head-to-head confrontation. Facing Long Zhongguo, with his immense and unfathomable power, Xiao Lingfeng also stood up. His expression grew cold as he said sternly, "What if I say no?" Long Zhongguo's eyes narrowed, and his aura intensified once more. Although he had already learned Xiao Lingfeng's true identity, in front of others, especially since Xiao hadn't officially returned to the Dragon Kingdom, they were still king versus king. Certain words had to be said, certain actions had to be taken. At this moment, Wan Tianxue, seeing the rising tension between Long Zhongguo and Xiao Lingfeng, feared it might escalate into a battle. He quickly shouted at the members of the Zhou family, "Do you want the Zhou family to be utterly annihilated? Who is Zhou Fei's father? Sever your ties with him immediately. Expel him from the family." Following Wan Tianxue's command, Zhou Tianzheng, the fifth elder of the Zhou family standing behind Zhou Zhenghao, burst into tears and shouted at Zhou Fei, "You rebellious son! You've been disowned by the Zhou family long ago. The Zhou family's affairs have nothing to do with you. Stop pretending to care. Get out! Get out!" Zhou Tianzheng continued to yell, "You ingrate! Our family has committed countless atrocities over the years, but none of that has anything to do with you. Today's tragedy is our own doing, and even if we are destroyed, we accept it willingly. Leave now. Get out!" Zhou Tianzheng knew his end was near, and the Zhou family was finished. But Zhou Fei was his son, his pride. As Long Zhongguo said, Zhou Fei was indeed untainted by the family's corruption. From a young age, Zhou Fei had been repulsed by the Zhou family's actions, and the accolades he earned in the Southeastern Battle Division were achieved through his own hard work, having nothing to do with the Zhou family. While Zhou Tianzheng lashed out at Zhou Fei, his gaze held a deep sense of love and blessing. After shouting, he drew a knife and sl*t his throat, ending his own life. He didn't want his existence to force his son into a difficult position. With his death, Zhou Fei would no longer be burdened by any ties to the Zhou family. Ah! Zhou Fei cried out in anguish. He knew how many vile deeds his father had committed. That's why, despite being nearby all along, he hadn't intervened earlier. He waited until the Zhou family was on the brink of destruction and his father's life was at stake before stepping forward to save them. But now, his father was dead. And nearby, one of the Dragon Kingdom's most powerful figures was about to clash with the master of the Temple of the God of War, who had 4 heavenly kings and dozens of war gods by his side. Long Zhongguo was in grave danger. At this realization, Zhou Fei dropped to one knee with a loud thud and shouted, "Master, please leave. Don't risk your life for me." Zhou Fei then turned to Xiao Lingfeng, yelling, "Lord Xiao, I take full responsibility for my actions. I know the Temple of the God of War has been aiding the Daxia Kingdom for years. Today, I, Zhou Fei, will take my own life. Please, Lord Xiao, do not bear any resentment toward the Daxia Kingdom because of me." With those words, Zhou Fei took out a dagger and thrust it toward his own neck. But just as the blade touched his skin and drew blood, it was suddenly knocked out of his hand. Zhou Fei looked blankly at the dagger as it flew away and then at Xiao Lingfeng, who gazed back at him and smiled slightly. "Did I ever say I was going to kill you?" Zhou Fei was stunned and confused. Wasn't he part of the Zhou family? Could Xiao Lingfeng really spare him? At this moment, Long Zhonghua, with a pleased look in his eyes, glanced at Xiao Lingfeng and nodded, saying, "You're a good kid, very reasonable." "Thank you." Pfft, Xiao Lingfeng scoffed, rolling his eyes at Long Zhonghua and retorting, "Don't flatter me. Zhou Fei is not like the rest of his family. I'm not some mindless killer. Why would I need to kill him? You think I go around slaughtering people indiscriminately?" What Long Zhonghua said next shocked everyone present, not only the people of Qianjiang City but also the powerful warriors of the Temple of the God of War, including a bewildered Zhou Fei. Long Zhonghua, with a complex expression, looked at Xiao Lingfeng and said, "Child, I'm sorry for everything you've gone through over the years. This time, when you return, don't leave again. I'll hand over the Dragon Kingdom's battle division to you. We all know what happened years ago. I was just a step too late, and for that, I'm sorry. Come back. The Dragon Kingdom needs you." What? What did you just say? What you said makes no sense to me. We barely know each other, so could you stop joking around? Xiao Lingfeng was visibly shocked by Long Zhonghua's words. What was this old marshal talking about? Everyone was stunned, and Long Zhonghua then softly uttered 3 words that left everyone in shock: Xiao Zhan Tian. Boom. In that instant, Xiao Lingfeng understood. Long Zhonghua had uncovered his true identity, and naturally, the events of the Xiao family in Yanjing 6 years ago were no longer a mystery. A moment later, Xiao Lingfeng's eyes reddened as he asked, "Elder. You were there 6 years ago?" Long Zhonghua took a deep breath, his eyes also moist, and nodded heavily. He then patted Xiao Lingfeng's shoulder firmly and said, "Yes, I was there, but I arrived too late. I'm sorry, child. I didn't protect you well enough." Xiao Lingfeng's eyes grew even redder. This was the deepest secret in his heart, something he hadn't even told Gao Weiwei. After a long silence, he gave a bitter smile and said, "It's fine. It's all in the past. Besides, one day, I will return and seek justice, reclaim what is rightfully mine. And that day is not far off, is it?" Long Zhonghua nodded, saying, "I'll be waiting for you in Yanjing, child." After speaking, Long Zhonghua suddenly paused, as if remembering something. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a black dragon-patterned ring, handing it to Xiao Lingfeng. "This ring is a gift from the 3rd elder. He also wanted me to pass on a message: when you return to Yanjing, seek him out. He has some fine tea prepared and is waiting to share it with you." Xiao Lingfeng, puzzled, asked, "The 3rd elder? He knows me?" Long Zhonghua smiled mysteriously, nodding, "Yes, he knows you. And you know him too. I won't say more, you'll understand when you meet him." Suppressing his confusion, Xiao Lingfeng carefully put away the black dragon-patterned ring for safekeeping. What Xiao Lingfeng didn't realize was that his conversation with Long Zhonghua, the top warrior of the Daxia Kingdom, had left everyone in Qianjiang City completely dumbfounded. Even the powerful warriors of the Temple of the God of War were stunned. Shenqing Tian was left in utter disbelief. Xiao Lingfeng. What is his true identity?